I'm back with Sean Kenney on day 2 of Cape.
How are you? How are you?
And we got chatting after our interview yesterday, and you told me some stories about legendary directors Frank Capra and
Yes.
Truffaut.
Absolutely. Frank Capra was my favorite director for so many years, and probably for that genre, he would always make a very uplifting, positive movie. It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite film of all time. I think Spielberg shares the same sentiment I do. He says it's one of his favorites of all time. And I one day took it upon myself. I had heard that he was living in La Quinta, California. He's still around. And this is back in the 70s. And I said, oh my God, maybe I... And a friend of mine says, oh, I have his phone number. He says, I was his realtor. I sold him a house down in La Quinta. I said, what? He said, do you think it'd be okay if I call him? And he had his number. He said, I don't think he'd mind. He's a really nice old gentleman. I don't know how old he would have been. You know, maybe he was in his 80s or 70s. So I called Frank Capra and I told him I had a time machine with me. And because I had seen one of his movies that he did, I loved it. And it was called Lost Horizons. I don't think you've seen it, but anyway, it's almost like a time machine movie, and if you can get it online somewhere, look at it, because it's just amazing. And I asked him about, did he ever think about directing again, or just doing one last shot? And this was a really, we thought it was a very cool idea, and the time machine, going back to a certain time period, and he'd be great directing at that time. And he said, no, he says, I'm really very dedicated to my wife now. He said she has a slight case of emphysema, and that's why we moved down to La Quinta. And I thought, wow, I met a great on the phone. This is something. And how serendipitous it was that one day I was riding around LA, and a guy says to me, hey, I'm over at the Beverly Hills Polo. And he says, François Truffaut's at this hotel, and he's out by the swimming pool. A captive audience. He's on a chaise lounge. So I ended up going into the lounge, and there was a little door you could get out to the swimming pool. So I went into the lounge, I said hi to my friend, and I pushed the door open, I went out, and there was a chaise lounge next to him. So he knew I wasn't a stalker because I would smile and say, hi. Hello. Like that. And I sat down on the side chaise next to him, and I says, I love you directing 400 Blows, Jules and Jim. I named off about, he goes, oh, you know my work. And I said, yeah, I love your work. I said, and I saw you in Close Encounters. He said, oh yeah, American film, very good film, he says. And I said, but I have a film. He said, you have a film? And I said, yeah, it's a time machine. It's set in modern time, but it goes back to before World War II. And I said, I just thought with your directing skills, and I started telling him about the plot. I gave him a quick synopsis, about 4 sentences. And he says, in thinking about this, it sounds like a very good plot, but you must get an American director. Because it is not my thing, my genre, he goes, my genre. What a nice guy he was,
Wow.
François Truffaut, 2 greats,
of course,
in a couple of months' time. And it was really kind of prophetic because he didn't live that long after that. Passed away about 5 or 6 years later. He looked like he was in very good health. He looked in his 60s.
Yeah.
I don't know when Truffaut died, but I thought he died too early.
Yeah.
So those 2 greats. I mean, to meet people like that. Here's another guy I met, and I chanced meeting. When you hang around LA enough, people always at some time seem to come to LA, and if you're in the right, we used to call it the grid. Oh, he's in my grid. He lives just down the road. And so one day I was looking for my wife, and she was on Beverly Drive in Beverly Hills, and she said, I'll be in the store, and I said, oh, and it was late at night, they just closed, and there was a disco next door, and I heard the music, and it was really cool. It was really good disco music. And I walked into this club, and I'm looking around, and I said, she wouldn't come in here. And I look over, and I see this guy sitting there, and he's got a cigar, and it's not lit because you can't smoke in the bar, but he's just, and it's George Burns.
Oh, wow.
And he's got 2 girls, one on each side of him, right? And the tube is on just perfectly, And I went, Mr. Burns, how are ya? What are you up to? This is Mary. This is Alice. Good place, isn't it? You love the music? I said, sure, I love the music. You can call me George, that's right. And it's so funny because you meet these people, you know, and you go, God, this is an icon, you know. And so I met a few in my life. In my book, and you can probably show this on film.
Yeah.
On Halloween night, I live in Toluca Lake, California, which is outside Burbank. Nice area. And my son's got his Star Wars mask on. We're doing Halloween in Toluca Lake. And I said, look at all those kids going there. And he's, oh, that's Bob Hope's house. Just go over there, and you'll probably get a little thing with his picture on it, like thanks for the memories or something, his favorite song. I said, oh, so we go there, and all of a sudden, he comes out of the house, and my kid's standing there with me, and I said, take the mask off, you know, because he's got that guy with the horns coming out of the mouth from Star Wars, and I said, oh, hi, Mr. Hope. Hi, and who's this young man down here? And here he is.
Wow.
There's Bob Hope. And Dolores, his wife, and my son with his mask off.
That is terrific.
And listen to this. He's 100 years old in this picture.
Unbelievable.
You'd never know it.
100 years
Great shape.
And talked. Didn't miss a beat.
Wow.
Hi, who's this little guy? Hey, nice to meet you. Anyway, that's my Bob Hope story.
Wow.
Well, Sean, if I can ask, who is your favorite actor? Who is your idol?
Actor-wise? Oh, God, yeah. That's a hard one.
We ask the tough questions, eh?
Yeah, I know. You know, I gotta say that Laurence Olivier, when I saw him on stage doing Sleuth with Michael Caine, I just blew it because I knew it was Larry Olivier. And I was in the service, I was in London, and that's the reason why I became an actor. I saw him delivering that, you know, that castigating thing to Michael Caine. I don't know if you saw the movie. But he really threatens his life. He's going to kill him. And Michael Caine, the detective, he becomes so afraid of this guy, you know. And I thought, how could this man, and I knew who he was, do this role so convincingly? I mean, he had to be at that time. I mean, he caused me to get the bite, as we used to say, become an actor. Because I'm sitting there like this, you know, in the 10th row, and I'm looking at the two of them working on stage in London, and I'm saying,
This guy's a true actor.
Magic.
Yeah.
The two of them, because Michael Caine
of course,
had done Alfie, but they had come to do this movie. And I think he was probably one of the greatest actors I've ever seen. I also like Albert Finney. I love Albert Finney's work. I don't know if you've ever seen Big Fish with Albert Finney.
Yeah, actually, well, I interviewed Malcolm McDowell, and that's one of his favorite actors too.
Albert Finney. His work just surpasses so many people and I'm talking about people that are, to my idea, transpersonal actors, and a lot of people in the industry don't know what that means. It means you can take on a character and you're not being typecast as yourself as much as it's what you pull into the role. And there are actors who are personality actors.
Sean Connery.
Those are people who are always themselves in an imaginary situation. And then you got people like Albert Finney, who plays Inspector Clouseau on the train like this, you know, and then he does the southern guy in Big Fish, you know, always bragging and telling big stories. And that's the transpersonal actor, can do accents, takes on the exact person's personality, character. That's the transpersonal actor. That's why Tom Cruise couldn't do Valkyrie.
Exactly, yeah.
Because he can't do an accent.
I always say a good modern example is Viggo Mortensen. I don't know if you've seen him.
Viggo Mortensen.
Like Eastern Promises, when he's Russian. He's just such a great actor.
He is it.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, no. Viggo is a transpersonal actor. Yeah. So just for the public to know, that's the difference. There's a personality actor and there's a transpersonal actor, which gets totally incredible. And of course, Meryl Streep.
Of course.
Sophie's Choice. Anyway,
there's a reason she's been nominated so many times. Right? Daniel Day-Lewis, same thing.
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis, transpersonal. Absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Anyway.
Thanks again.
Anyway, guys.
This has been great.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting your dad.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad.
That's great.
They'll know you're holding the camera, right?